Good morning. This is the State Court of Clayton County. I'm Judge Tammy Long Hayward. This is the arraignment calendar for Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. We also have a jail and probation calendar. The first case on the Yeah. There we go. All right. The first case on the arraignment calendar is Crutchfield, Edward Marcarius Crutchfield.
I'm here.
All right. So, Mr. Crutchfield, I need to see you.
Okay.
All right. And when you come to court, we need to see your first and your last name on the screen so we know who to call because my calendars go by last name. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, sir, you're before the court for a seatbelt violation and distracted driving. You do not have an attorney. If you need an attorney to assist you, I can help you. But if you want to represent yourself, I can let the state tell you what their recommendation is on this.
Yeah, I'll take a recommendation.
All right. How old are you, sir?
26.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Crutchfield, Miss Hagler is going to tell you about the seatbelt violation and distracted driving recommendations. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. So for count one, a fine of $25. For count two, a fine of $50. Mr. Crutchfield, do you have evidence or proof that you have a hands-free device?
Yes.
You can send me a screenshot of. Okay. I will put my email in the chat, and if you can send me a proof of your hands-free device, and then I will come back and make another announcement to the judge.
Okay. Am I gonna be able? I got it in my car now. I can take a picture of it right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll give you time to do that. Just go ahead and mute your device. You can mute and turn your camera off until you come back, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And if you get logged off, it's the same log on. Just come back in.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Davius O'Neill Grant. Is the courtroom on? I don't see the courtroom, so you all are muted and I can't see you. But Davius O'Neill Grant.
Well, Your Honor, if the defendant is not present in the courtroom, he's definitely not on Zoom, then the state will be moving for a bench warrant.
Okay. Deputy, is there a Grant in the courtroom?
No, ma'am.
All right. Bench warrant, bond forfeiture. Oh, no, bench warrant. No bond forfeiture.
Your Honor,
Yes.
it's already wanted.
Oh,
So he will
okay.
just remain wanted.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold.
All right. And on the jail and probation cases, first case on the calendar is a probation matter for Thomas Henry Caffey.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Are we ready on Mr. Caffey?
Well, Your Honor, Mr. Caffey is still displaying signs of severe mental health issues. He hasn't seemed to have recovered since while being in jail and had some time to be on his medication. He is presenting pretty much like he did the last time we were at court. So I'm going to speak with my office about getting him an evaluation. I'd request that the court order mental health evaluation so I can start that process.
Okay, did I already sign one? I thought we
haven't signed one. I was going to give him an opportunity to get medicated because about 2 months ago he was here, spoke to him, and he was mostly competent. I mean, obviously he had issues, and that's why he's back in the jail. But since he's been in the jail, or since the last time I spoke to him when he was competent, his capacity has dropped significantly.
Okay. All right. So mental health evaluation, just go ahead and get the order to me. I'll sign it as soon as I get it. And I'm not sure how far back
They are
they're
180
running.
days back, unfortunately.
100 and what?
80 days when we spoke with
Okay, so
health
let's start. Does Mr. Caffey have family or anyone to assist him? Because let's start thinking about alternatives. I don't know, because we're already dealing with having a lot of people who are sitting for a while waiting on mental health evals, and they're probably sitting for longer than I would have sentenced them to, and that's a concern for me. So can we start thinking outside the box and see if Mr. Caffey has any family members or if he's previously been in a treatment program to see if we can access something different?
I'll check my notes on his previous cases to see if we have family that we can contact.
All right, thank you. All right, Robert Lee Crawford.
Judge, that's gonna be a plea today.
Okay, is he ready?
He's ready.
All right, come on up.
Stand right next to me, sir.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes, ma'am.
raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down. So you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Robert Lee Crawford for criminal trespass, case 2024 CR 08003. You're represented by attorney Owen Lynch with the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. Sir, Mr. Lynch, what is your client pleading to the offense of criminal trespass?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, by entering a plea of guilty, sir, you give up the right to have the state trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. You understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On or about September 9th of 2024, Officer Nathaniel Parker observed the defendant on the property of 6234 Spine Road, Atlanta, Georgia 30337. After receiving a criminal trespass warning on September the 8th of 2024 under case number 2425-28015. The defendant was then engaged by Officer Parker and was found to not have a valid reason for being on the property. At that time, the defendant was escorted to the precinct where the criminal trespass warning was verified by Officer Parker. The defendant was at that time arrested and detained. Your Honor, the events did occur in Clayton County, Georgia. For count one, the state's offer is 12 months to serve, 30 days, community time served, balance suspended, and the defendant is to not return to 6234 Spine Road, Atlanta, Georgia 30337, unless he's there for an official business and for an official purpose.
Mr. Lynch?
Your Honor, I've explained to him the conditions and his rights to a trial. We just asked the court accept the recommended sentence from the state. I have explained that he cannot return to the airport unless he has business or a ticket to fly.
All right. So, Mr. Crawford, you know, they're making it harder for people to go to the airport unless they have a ticket to fly out that day. So, sir, I'm going to sentence you to 12 months to serve 30 days, commuted to time served. The balance will be suspended as long as you have no new violations of the laws of the state of Georgia and you do not go back to Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport unless you have a ticket for travel on that date. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Crawford, they really are cracking down on people going to the airport, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Next is James Greer.
He's in the audience, Your Honor.
All right,
Come up to the podium if you don't mind.
he's ready for a plea.
No, I haven't spoken to Mr. Greer. I didn't.
How you on? How you doing?
See him, Lister.
I'm good, Mr. Greer. So, Mr. Greer, you're represented by the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. So these two attorneys, one of them is going to speak with you about your case.
Can I got something to say, Your Honor. I was here one time before on
Yes,
this
sir.
case.
Yes, sir.
And, somebody used my name on this case. I came and spoke to you one time before, like on the Mr. Identity. The only reason I knew about this case,
We'll talk.
I went to the
Okay. So, Mr. Greer, hold on a second. Talk to your attorney about it, because if we talk about it before, that means the solicitor's office has done some research on this case and they may have given that information to your attorney, okay? Because generally, if somebody has their identity stolen, the investigators will do the research when we announce it in court, okay?
Yeah, I announced this one time before, Your Honor, and I've been locked up twice about this, and this is not me, Your Honor. Like, honestly, like somebody used my name.
Okay, let's get the investigation. Let's see what happened the last time you were here, and let's talk with your attorney so he can get the information that the state might have on that, okay? Because we can pull pictures, whoever was arrested or whoever's been given your name, there might be body cam, any of those things that your attorney can access, okay?
Yes, please, Your Honor, because I'm tired of going through this. This is not me. I've been arrested for something I didn't do.
I got you, Mr. Greer, but I'm gonna tell you, it's usually somebody close to you. It's usually a cousin, a brother, a good friend who's using your name if that happens. So you might need to look real close to you, but talk to your attorney right now, okay?
All right.
All right. All right. So the next is Jessica Jefferson. This is a petition.
Yes, Your Honor, it's a probation revocation.
Okay.
Judge, I'm not sure if we're appointed, but we haven't.
Yes.
Females haven't been in we haven't talked to females yet.
I'm sorry?
We haven't spoken to the female inmates
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, but y'all are appointed. This is a Lister Holt Dennis case. All right, Derek Dion Jones. Derek Dion Jones.
I'm sorry, is that off the arraignment calendar or the jail calendar?
Jail.
I believe Mr. Taylor may be speaking to Mr. Jones at this time.
Okay. And then we have a petition for Remy Martin, LaShawn Jones. Did we just do that, Ken? This is Mr. Hicks's case, so I don't think y'all can talk to him and see if he needs representation, but I don't think Mr. Hicks is still on the case.
Okay.
Next is Sterling Obche Pate. It's also a petition. Is that a petition, or is it just closed? I have it's a closed case, but I don't have anybody listed from probation. Pate, Sterling Pate.
Yeah, I think it's a closed case.
He was on a previous jail calendar and we resolved his case.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Adriana Perez.
That's
That is closed, it says. But I don't, oh, this is Ms. Chang's petition. Yeah, Ms. Perez has 1, 2, 3, At least 3 that I can see.
Your Honor, we haven't spoken to Ms. Perez, but I was talking to, or I looked up the probation for Ms. Chang, and it's a violation of probation. I believe it's new violations or a testing issue.
Yeah, I expected that. All right, so y'all talk to Mr. Then.
If you're ready to proceed with Mr. Trotter, he's a new inmate or new charges, and I've spoken to him and we're ready to proceed on him.
Okay, let's bring him out. Okay, so once we do Trotter, then we can have you all finish talking to everyone, and then we'll run through them once we do that.
Yes, Your Honor. You step over here. Judge is on Zoom today. If the screen goes out, you'll be able to still see her over there. Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Trotter.
Good morning.
All right, raise your right hand for me, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down, sir. You're before the court on case 2024 CR 08024, Gerald Flynn Trotter Jr. for no license, count 1, speeding, count 2, reckless driving, count 3, and obstruction of an officer, count 4. You're represented by the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. Mr. Taz Taylor is with you. Mr. Taylor, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, my client is pleading guilty to each of the 4 offenses.
By entering a plea of guilty, Mr. Trotter, to counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And sir, if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Pursuant to the probable cause affidavit that was completed by Officer Richard, Rishard Dames, on or about September the 9th of 2024, while he was running his LiDAR on Park Villa Way and Point South Parkway, Officer Dames clocked the defendant speeding, traveling 49 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone on Point South Parkway. At that time, Officer Dames attempted to conduct a traffic stop on the vehicle using his emergency lights and sirens. The defendant jumped out of the vehicle without placing the vehicle in park and began running. The defendant ran into the direction of a Chevron gas station located at 8550 Highway 85, Jonesboro, Georgia, also in Clayton County, and officers engaged in a foot pursuit. Also, the defendant's vehicle continued driving forward due to it not being placed in park, and the vehicle made contact with a curb in the gas station parking lot. Officers were able to catch the defendant inside the Chevron gas station and place him in custody. And after placing him in custody through officers' MCT database, it was brought to his attention that the defendant did not have a valid driver's license. At that time, the defendant did confirm that he did not have a driver's license and that he knew that he was not supposed to be driving. Again, this incident did occur in Clayton County, Georgia. Your Honor, for count 1, the state's offer is 12 months to serve, 30 days, balance probated, a fine of $1,000. Count 2, a fine of $100. Count 3, the defendant is a complete defense of driving class, 40 hours of community service, a fine of $1,000, and then for count 3, a fine of $300.
All right, Mr. Taylor?
Thank you, Your Honor. While my client is pleading guilty to the charges enumerated, we do feel that $2,400 in fines is a bit excessive given the totality of the circumstances and the fact that Mr. Trotter has been in custody for about 43 days at this point. The situation with the reckless driving is based upon him not putting the car in the park and the car rolled away.
Yeah, that's pretty reckless.
It is reckless, but the typical reckless that we see before us is people driving in a very high speed and disregard for other people manner. This situation I personally don't believe it rises quite to that level. Although I think a defensive or a driver improvement class is appropriate. I think $1,000 and 40 hours community service on that issue, along with the time they spend in custody, is a little overreaching.
And Your Honor, if I may,
Trotter, go ahead, ma'am.
I want to say, well, to add more information to the situation, there were other travelers on the road when the defendant put his car in park. So other travelers their risks were at safety, their safety was at risk as well. So it's still considered regular driving.
On parking lot, you're saying?
Okay,
They were driving on Highway 85, the incident location.
Hold on.
Yes, Your Honor.
So Mr. Trotter knew he didn't have a license. Mr. Trotter knew he wasn't supposed to be speeding. The fact that the on the no license, the fine is $1,000, which means this is his second no license. So he is known he hasn't had a license for a while. And so all of this is reckless in the grand scheme of things. If you use the small R as opposed to the big R, all of what he did is reckless. So Mr. Trotter knew he shouldn't have been on the road. He knew she shouldn't have been speeding. I don't understand how you on the road and you know you don't have a license and then you speed too. It makes no sense. And then when somebody pulls you over, instead of taking the 2 tickets, the no license and the speeding, you double down and say, oh, well, let me just jump out of the car and run like officers can't run and catch you. I just don't understand it. So all of that was reckless. And then letting your car roll around so that it might impact somebody else or cause someone else to have an accident. That's all reckless. And so I'll give him credit for counts 2 and count 4 for time served. I'll give him credit for those fines in lieu. So time served in lieu of the $100 fine on count 2 and the $300 fine on count 4, but on counts 1 and 3, Mr. Trotter seems to want to spend more money on the courts than getting his license straight. And I don't know if that's child support or what's going on, but the money you're paying us, you could have used to go ahead and get your license back.
I want to get it back, ma'am.
I know you want to, but I mean, you haven't done it. You haven't done what it takes to get it. And what I'm saying is, I'm not going to keep waiting for you to want to do it.
Yes, ma'am. I had attempted to go to Fayetteville. I had took the written part at one point. So,
And
before
did you fail it?
I was going to take it again.
Yeah, shouldn't be driving. All right. So yeah, so I'll send you to 12 months to serve 30 days. Balance probated for you to pay a fine in the amount of $1,000 on count 1. That's $1,420 with the surcharges. Count 2 is $100 fine suspended for time served. Count 3 is 40 hours of community service, driver improvement course, and $1,000. That's $1,420. That'll run concurrent with count 1. And count 4 is $300 fine suspended for credit for time served. Mr. Trotter, I find that I'm just getting frustrated with people who make crazy decisions. So instead of going ahead and getting your license and spending a little bit of money, you risk it and then end up spending a lot of money. But hopefully you will learn from this situation that get your license, sir. I mean, it's not that hard. If you're having trouble passing the test, then get a teenager to tutor you because they know everything. I'm just saying, get it done. So you can go back with the sheriff's office. The probation office will contact you. I will say this, that the quickest way to get rearrested is to fail to do your probation reports and to get the special conditions of probation. So all of these are special conditions of probation. I want that noted. And on the driver improvement course, you're going to take the one that's approved by the Department of Driver Services. Do not go Googling. You're going to go to the website for the Department of Driver Services, and you will take the one that is approved by them, and they have several, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Services Driver Improvement Program.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I do apologize. I do have an announcement on Mr. Crutchfield Ward.
Yes,
He
ma'am.
has provided me sufficient proof. The state is going to non-cross that case.
All right, thank you, Mr. Crutchfield. Make sure you're driving safely, seatbelts and hands free, okay?
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir.
So I'm still paying the ticket, right?
No, you're done.
Oh, okay.
And
all
also,
right,
Your
thank you.
Honor, I was just made aware that the defendant has a bench warrant.
Okay, can we cancel the bench warrant so y'all send me a bench warrant set aside?
Yes, ma'am, we will sure do that.
Thank you. All right, so
So
Mr.
I'll be all
Crutchfield,
right with driving and stuff today. Like I won't have to worry about no bench warrant
yes,
no more.
yes, sir. I'm gonna take care of that this as soon as they send it to me, I sign electronically. So as soon as it pops up on my iPad, I'll send it back, okay? And then for the case, that'll be no process, I'll sign that too. All right.
Okay.
Be careful
All
out
right,
there,
thank you.
sir. Thank
All
you.
right.
All right. All right. Mr. Taylor and Mr. Lynch, I'm going to give y'all some time to talk to these individuals, and then we'll be back in a minute.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge,
Yes. Yes.
for count one, was that 30 days credit for time served or no?
Count
For
one.
Mr. Trotter?
No. Count one for Mr. Trotter was 12 months to serve 30 days, balance probated to pay a fine in the amount of $1,000. And then all of the conditions are special conditions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello?
If you're not muted, you're not muted, Judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, is Miss Hagler and Miss Arnold on the call?
I'm still on.
Hey, I have Santrice Winfrey in here.
Mhm.
She's supposed to appear on the ARPA calendar on Friday.
Mhm.
I believe she wants to resolve her case. Is there any way you can pull up that file? There was a warrant requested. Can you confirm what the offer for this?
We sent it to you on Friday, but
No, I know you sent it to me. The internet's not great in here and it's in my email. I'm just trying to make
okay. So for count one, 12 months to serve, 2 days. Community time served, balance suspended. A fine of $500. Count 2, non-pros. Count 3, 12 months to serve, 2 days. Community time served, balance suspended. And then count 4, non-pros.
Okay.
Is her license still suspended?
Yes, currently it's not
Oh,
valid.
okay.
Is she NOLO eligible?
Let me see. Give me 1 second. No, she used it for another moving device in 2020.
For a what? A moving device? It's
I
not.
meant moving charge in 2020. So no, she has
No, it's not per. It's every 5 years.
No, she used it in 2020, so she's not.
Hold on. Look, I need you to understand something. The NOLO, it's per category. So for not having a license or for having a no license or
suspended,
it's once
it's still a moving offense.
Right, but it's not a moving violation. It's a status offense. She is eligible if she hasn't used it on a no license or suspended license in the last 5 years. I mean, technically, the eligibility that you guys are talking about has to do with whether DDS is going to use it. So, like, if she's already
right, so they're probably. I mean, it's gonna be up to them anyway. But yeah, but she has it in 2020 for improper valid lane change.
Right,
I haven't seen her use it since then.
That's a different category of offense. So she can use it. Okay. Well, all right.
Well, she used it in 2020, so that's what I have on her record. So, but that's the offer.
Okay, so but you don't have an issue with her pleading NOLO, and you just
that's on you. I mean, no, but she has used it in 2020.
Okay, sure. So can we Your Honor, is Judge Hayward still on the call?
She is. Just let her know that you have an announcement and she'll come back on when she's. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Your Honor, I have Miss Santrice Winfrey here in the courtroom. She wants to resolve her case. She was on the ARPA calendar on Friday. She didn't appear. I spoke with her. She didn't appear. We had tried to reach out to her, but she is here. She does want to resolve her case. She's acceptable to the state's recommendation. We were having a slight disagreement about NOLO.
Look, here's my thing. If she wants to use the NOLO on a traffic offense, I don't care. Because it's up to traffic, it's up to DDS whether they take it or not. Right. So as long as it's not a reckless or a DUI or, where she puts somebody's life at risk, if she wants to try it, they'll decide.
Right. And
once it gets to them.
Just for the record, my understanding of NOLO and NOLO eligibility, that doesn't refer to any statute or any law. NOLO is up to whether the judge accepts a NOLO plea. However, for DDS, they will accept a NOLO plea for a moving violation every 5 years. They will accept a NOLO plea for a status offense, such as no license every 5 years. They will accept a NOLO plea for a no insurance charge every 5 years. These are not treated, so a NOLO plea for a moving violation does not use your NOLO for a no license. If I'm wrong about that, I would please let me know, but I'm very confident that I'm not wrong about that.
Okay, I can't let you know because I
I was-
really don't get into weeds like that. I just
That's,
all I know is I still got all my NOLO. That's
right.
all.
And I understand. I just want to make sure. Miss
I got you.
Hager, I think
If she wants to use it, I'm not pressed. You know, if they take it, they take it.
Right. The $500 fine, you got 60 days to pay. Okay? You good with that? All right, let's do that. You understand what you're doing under your right now to take the case to trial? All right, let's get this done.
All right, so you have the particulars because I don't even have this case on this calendar since she was on our calendar.
Yes, Ron, I do have
Okay.
the factual basis.
I'm gonna need the case number and the charges, and actually her name too, because yeah.
Yes, Ron, the case number is going to be 2023 CR 03158.
Okay.
And the name is Santrice, S as in Sam, AN as in Nancy, T as in tree, RICE. Middle name is Chanel, CHANELLE. And then last name is Winfrey, WINF as in Frank, REY.
Okay. All right. And what's she charged with?
Count 1 is driving while license suspended or revoked.
Okay.
Count 2, no license. Count 3, giving a false name, address, date of birth. And then count 4 the same, giving false name, address, date of birth.
All right. All right. Raise your right hand for me, Mr. Winfrey. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You can put your hand out, ma'am. So you're before the court on 2023 CR 03158 for Centrice Winfrey. You're before the court for count 1, suspended or revoked license. Count 2, no license. Count 3, false name, address, or date of birth. And count 4, false name, address, or date of birth. Mr. Lynch, what does your client wish to plead to the offenses before the court?
She wishes to plead NOLO.
To all 4?
Well, I believe the offer was to plead for count 1 and count 3. The other charges will be null pros. Is that correct, Ms. Hagler?
Yes, null pros counts 2 and 4.
Okay. All right. So by entering a plea of NOLO to counts 1 and 3, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Factual basis, please, and recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. Pursuant to the probable cause affidavit that was completed by Officer C. Birdlong, BYRDLONG, the defendant knowingly provided a false name and a date of birth of Kimora, Kimora Winfrey, with a date of birth of June 3rd of 2005. During a police investigation, the defendant was also seen behind the steering wheel and driver's seat at the time of the investigation. Pursuant to GCIC, it was determined that the defendant's license was suspended with a suspension date of February the 11th of 2016. The incident took place at Regions Bank parking lot in Morrow, Georgia, Clayton County. And the state's offer, and again, this occurred on October 17th of 2021. Count 1, 12 months to serve, 2 days, community time served, balance suspended. and a fine of $500. Count 2 was going to be Norcross. Count 3, 12 months to serve, 2 days. Community time served, balance suspended, and the state's on the Norcross count 4 as well. And also, Your Honor, at the end, the state will be requesting to recall that bench warrant because she did receive one on Friday.
Okay, thank you.
welcome.
So on count 1, you said that it's balance suspended and a $500 fine, or balance probated and a $500 fine? Mr. Lynch, does she need time to pay the fine? It's $750.
If she can, I believe you can pay within 60 days. Is that correct?
Correct.
So make sure you can pay the whole amount within 60 days.
And what is the amount?
700 and
$37.50.
okay, because if you can't pay that whole amount within the time frame, it's better to go on and pay on.
So I have to pay $37 and then 500?
No, $736 is the total.
Okay.
Within 60 days. Can you do that? Okay. Would Your Honor allow her a 60-day period to pay?
All right. That's fine. Miss Winfrey, let's talk about a couple of things. So why is your license still suspended?
I just went to Fulton County and they just gave me my
It was suspended because you missed a court date?
yes, they just gave me my whip Friday when I left school. I went down there and they gave me my letter for them to withdraw my license.
Okay, so you got a ticket and you missed the court date is what I'm saying.
Correct.
All right, let me tell you how to never get a failure to appear again. You got a phone?
Yes, ma'am.
And you got all kinds of pictures and apps and stuff on your phone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, this is what you should use your phone for, stuff that's going to benefit you. If you get pulled over and you get a ticket on the side of the road, you take a picture of the ticket because we all lose the ticket. Then when you take the picture of the ticket, you calendar the date and location of where you have to go to court. You set a reminder at least 10 days before your court date. So if you have to get childcare, if you have to take off from work, you'll have time to do all of those things so that on the date, you'll be in court on time. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you do that, you will never fail to appear again. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, the second thing is, so ma'am, just between me and you, what's more important than court for you to your appearance to be kind of up to par? Like, do you take your bonnet off to go to church? I mean, like, what would constitute a place where it's fancy enough for you to come in with your bonnet off and your hair done?
I was on the way to my hair appointment and my mom called me and said, you need to get to court right now.
Okay.
Because you missed your court date. They sent it to my old address. And
I got you.
I done been on probation with Clayton County and changed my address.
Okay. All right. So I was just wondering because, I'm like, I'm just trying to figure out if court is not important enough for you to come with your hair did. I'm trying to figure out what is. But I get it.
Appointment.
This was a desperate situation. I got you.
Very desperate because I'm in college. I have a job and I have kids.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm telling you this. You will never, ever miss a court date if you use your supercomputer that you keep in your pocket for things that actually benefit you. Got me?
Right. Yes.
Spread the word.
Thank you so much for giving me another chance. I really need it. Now, can I get to school?
Yes, ma'am. You go right ahead.
Thank you. And thank you so much. I'm sorry about the confusion.
It's okay.
Good job, Ms. Winfrey. Thank you for coming in.
Does she need to go anywhere else now to
No, she's got balance suspended, so she'll get 60 days. She does need to go downstairs to get her paperwork. So Ms. Winfrey, before you leave the building, because you're going to need your paperwork, it's going to tell you the date that your fees are due. And also they'll answer any questions about how to pay online or by phone if you want to do that. But go down to the second floor right below us. Mm-hmm. When you go through the double doors into the hallway, go to your left and you'll see the traffic court window. And they'll give you your paperwork.
One other question. Will they update
yes, ma'am.
the address for me also?
Did they what?
will they update my address for me also?
They should be able to, yes. Yes, ma'am. Just ask them to check what's in the computer and then see if you can update it while you're there.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. You have a blessed day.
You too, Ms. Winfrey.
I do have one more announcement.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Greer is going to enter a not guilty plea.
Okay.
However, I would request if Ms. Hagler can hopefully see if her investigator can check whether there's body cam. I know that's part of the discovery process, but I think that
There's no body cam, and he wasn't arrested on that date, so I can't even get a photo. So no.
well, that would be consistent with it not being him. So
There is no body cam available. I'm saying we don't. There is
no, I understand. The fact that there's no body cam and there was no arrest made is consistent with his that it's not him. That's all I'm pointing out, and I would hope we can maybe do some investigation.
Hold on, Mr. Lynch, he said he's been arrested a couple of times for this. So is it possible that the person who is using his name has done this before? Like if you check with the jail and see what the LE number and photo is that the jail has for Mr. Greer, and see if it's him or if it's somebody else. Because it's possible they've done it before and been booked.
But I think he may have been arrested multiple times for missing a court date based on this. But
because they're not sending.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's certainly.
And also check the address that's with the clerk, because if the person, didn't have, like he says, I don't have my license or something, then, I'm gonna give you my address. Check and see what address they have in the clerk's office. Because if it wasn't a previous address for Mr. Greer or a current address, that is more, indication that it's somebody using his name and address.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna keep in touch with Mr. Greer and hopefully we can get this resolved pretty quickly.
All right, thank you.
I sent you a note in the chat.
Thank you.
Okay. So Mr. Greer is not guilty. All right. Do we have announcements on anybody else? Because we got a number of petitions.
I just want to confirm with Mr. Pate, he should not be on this calendar because his case is closed. He is still an inmate because he has pending charges in Superior Court. Okay. And he hasn't been out of custody.
So
yes.
I think what Mr. Taylor was saying is that Mr. Pate probation matter is closed, and,
yes,
and he has maybe pending charges in another court, but nothing that we need to deal with. And
yeah, I have that he's closed. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something and that it was actually a petition, but I have that it's a closed case.
And then I believe can you confirm, but Mr. Remy Jones is out to bond? Or no, we have one.
No, he should be in.
Sorry, Remy Jones is here for a VOP. I apologize.
Right.
Derek Jones is out to bond.
Okay, so Derek Jones is OTB.
And I will finish talking to Mr. Remy Jones right now.
Okay, and then who's speaking with Miss Adriana Perez?
When they put the females in the
Okay. Oh, the females are in, okay. I guess we're gonna start talking to the females right now, Judge.
Okay. All right. Let me know when you're ready.
So you're free to go. I got your contact and I'm gonna try to. Yes.
It's 404. Yeah, it's 678 437
678 437 0505. Okay. My name is Owen Lynch. I'm a Mr. Dennis.
You got a card?
I probably have a card. Give me a second. Yeah, I probably already have it, but if you have it, I'd love to look at it. There should be, or they probably have already provided to us. It's already been to an arraignment. I don't have a card on me right now, but I can give you I'll just give you my phone number on a piece of paper. We are, but we got a calendar and it's, a little bit too much time to get through. What time does it start? She told the jury to be back at 12:30. It's a criminal trespass at the airport, so it's not really a super tight. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, man, go home, you're ready to receive. Yes. Perez and Jefferson. There's Jefferson. And then we'll come here, so we can look at it. I have an announcement off the probation calendar.
Yes, sir.
We're ready to go forward with Jessica Jefferson. We are going to stipulate to a violation based on failure to report. However, I think we're going to ask for something different than what the probation officer is going to recommend.
Okay.
Bring out Miss Jefferson.
All right. When you bring her out, let me know.
He's going to grab her right now.
Good morning, Miss Jefferson.
Good morning.
Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
You can put your hand down. So, Ms. Jefferson, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Jessica Jefferson, 2020 CR 02907. You were before this court for driving on a suspended or revoked license, no tag, expired or invalid tag, and no insurance on the 15th day of November 2022, sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 4 months and 6 days remaining. Your sentence was told because we lost track of you, and this is your second revocation hearing. And so it is, you failed to report on June 24th, July 12th, July 26th, August 19th of 2024. You last reported to probation on June 10th of 2024, and you are currently $1,230 in arrears. What's going on, Ms. Jefferson? Why can't we get this together?
So November of 2022, I lost my job, and then September the 1st of 23, I became homeless. I was homeless for almost a year. So May the 15th of this year, I got into a place, and a week after that was when I got arrested. They released me and told me that the fine had to be paid in 2 weeks, but I had just got into a place from being homeless. And now I've been stable for like 4 or 5 months, and I had just got a job September 29th.
You got a job this year of September 29th?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you working?
The Winship Emory Cancer Center in Midtown.
What you doing at Winship?
Medical assistant.
Okay, so you got medical assistant skills. Was it that difficult to get a job?
It was. I lost the job with Emory September 2022. Well, November 2022. And I kept applying, and I finally got back on.
Okay, so they rehired you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr.
Just
Carmichael. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Lynch.
Just a couple other things to consider, Judge. I believe when she was initially arrested on this offense for driving on a suspended license and invalid insurance, she did about 2 weeks in custody at that point. And then she's also been in custody on this violation of probation arrest for approximately, or I think since about October the 8th. So she has done a fair amount of time for these traffic offenses. She also informs me that she has 4 children in her custody. Her 16-year-old child having special needs are currently with the child's father. But the 1-year-old. The father of her 1-year-old. But she is hoping to get out to take care of her kids. And, you know, so we would essentially ask that Your Honor give her credit for the time that she's already served and close this case, given that the amount of time that she's done, if you consider the initial arrest and this VOP is about as much time as typically someone would serve on these traffic offenses if they didn't accept probation. And I think Mr. Carmichael can confirm that although she did miss many report dates, she did reach out to him via phone on several occasions in connection with her missed reports.
I had told him not calling him, but he said that he would have recorded the calls, but I know for a fact that I called.
May I speak, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I can attest that I have not received a call from you. I always check my phone when I miss a call. I always make note of it and give a call back. And if you couldn't reach me, you could always contact one of my fellow associates, and they could easily have informed me as well. But I have not received a phone call to the one that you called me while you were in jail and got booked in on the 8th. That was the first and last time I heard from you, ma'am.
If I had my cell phone right now, I could go to my call log and show the times I called.
What number? I'm curious to know what number you called, because I promise you I've not received a call from you, ma'am.
The 0178 number. I even text that number because I thought it was a cell phone. And I still have the message in my phone from when I reached out to that number.
I don't have that number or log entered in my system. I don't have records of that. I would have called you back. But regardless, though.
Yeah, what's the recommendation, Mr. Carmichael?
Regardless, I would take Mr. Lynch's recommendation as well. I was going to have her serve 60 days, but given her combined time of this revocation and the first revocation, I would be willing to just go ahead and close the case and give her credit for the time she served.
Okay.
With your approval, of course.
I'm fine with it. Okay, so hold on. For some reason. Ooh, technology. Sometimes it can be so easy, and sometimes it's a pain. All right. So ma'am, I'm happy that you have a job. Whatever got you in this situation, I want you to remember that. Not sure like how you ended up in this situation, but whatever got you here with the charges that you had for no license, driving on a suspended or revoked license, let me just tell you, you cannot chance it. People do that a lot, and they think, well, I gotta, I can't do it right now. I gotta keep moving. I gotta keep driving. I got, because I can't lose my job. But you have to understand that when you're on a suspended or revoked license, it's just a matter of time before you get pulled over or before somebody runs your tag or, it is a matter of time. And so that is a big chance to take, because once you get arrested for that, that's a substantial fine, might be jail time, and you're going to lose whatever job or stability you have. So you take a big risk with that. And I understand that a lot of times it's an economic thing. You're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. But that is one of the things you have to prioritize, especially if you have a job. You got to have a car. And if you have a car, you got to have it in all of the documents in order. You got me?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are the children that you're responsible for?
18, 16, 11, and 1.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you need this job. And so you need to what is it going to take to get your license back? Have you talked to anybody about that?
The DMV, they want me, when my license got suspended after I did the court for these tickets, they wanted me to get SR22 insurance, which means I have to pay it up for like 6 months.
Yeah, that's a lot, and it costs. Work on putting some money aside for that so that you can get that done. And let me tell you, if your license was suspended because you missed a court date, there's an easy way to never do that. Always, if you get pulled over, take a picture of the ticket, put it in your calendar it, and set a reminder. Not just calendar the fact that I got a ticket and I got to go to court, but the actual court location. Where do I have to show up? What time do I have to show up? And give yourself at least 10 days before court with a reminder so you can make arrangements with your job and you can make arrangements for childcare. You got me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because there's an easy way to avoid a lot of things. People take a lot of risk and chances, but we have ways to avoid a lot of what happens to us. We just got to think properly. Okay, so I'm going to give you credit for time served and we'll close your case. But just remember, you got too many people depending on you to not think things through and plan ahead and put a little bit aside. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. But congratulations on getting a job. Emory is a wonderful place to work. Keep pushing and keep trying to move up in what you're doing. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So defendant shall receive credit for time served, case closed. All right, I'm sending the order over. Thank you.
That was my only case, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, Mr. Carmichael, thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day.
You too, sir.
You're welcome. Do you have an announcement, Fred? Ready to proceed? I believe we're ready to proceed with Ms. Perez as well. She's supposed to not go outside and I've been figuring out case.
Here, here, if this goes out, you can also see the.
Ms. Perez, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony given in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. So, Ms. Perez, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Adriana Perez, 2024 CR 01990, 2021 CR 08119, and 2024 CR 01991. You're represented by Attorney Taz Taylor, who's with you at the podium. You're before the court because you entered a plea for DUI, alcohol less safe, no license, driving under the influence of alcohol, second charge, escape, hit and run accident on the 7th day of May 2024, and you were sentenced to 30 months on probation. You have 26 months and 10 days remaining on this probation. You failed to avoid injurious and vicious habits. You've tested positive on September 19th for the metabolites of alcohol. You failed to attend NA or AA meetings per week, twice per week as directed. You documented one attendance on August 21st of 2024. You failed to comply with counseling. You've documented no classes for the ASAM Level 1 substance abuse treatment program. You failed to document proof of completing a MAD victim impact panel. You failed to complete risk reduction. You failed to complete community service. You have not documented any hours, and you failed to pay your $1,790 in arrears. All right, Mr.
Yes.
Taylor?
Your Honor, my client will stipulate to the violations of probation, and we wish to accept the state's, or rather probation officer Chang's recommended sentence. I want to inform Ms. Chang that my client has indicated she's completed 32 hours of community service. She has not provided that documentation to Officer Chang at this time. However, she does have it in her possessions back in the jail.
I really feel like Ms. Perez is not taking her situation seriously. We had a long conversation, and I understand the origins of a lot of what is going on. But even though I understand, it doesn't mean that she's not responsible for her behavior. And so I don't think in all this time, May to now is October, Ms. Perez has done very little, and she's been drinking. The drinking I expected because she's an alcoholic. But the fact that she's done nothing else to further the case that that we've talked about, she's done no other things, particularly the easiest thing, the freest thing, which is the AA and NA meetings. That's free and easy. Just find a meeting. They're everywhere. But Ms. Perez is still in the mindset that she doesn't have a problem. Ms. Perez, you're an alcoholic. I mean, it's not something to be ashamed of. It's a condition that needs to be treated. But you're going to try and brazen it out like you don't have an alcohol problem, but you do. And the longer you go with this attitude of, I don't have a problem, the more people you're going to hurt. Don't you have a child?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. Can your child afford to have you away from him for months at a time? But that's what's going to happen because you're not making the effort to get clear. AA and NA work. People use it and it works. The treatment level ASAM classes work. You haven't taken advantage of those. Even if you told me, well, I don't have the money, you still haven't gone to AA or NA. And you're drinking. And I told you that those same people who kept bailing you out would be the same people who are going to continue to help you in your downward spiral. Because those are the same people who are going to say, oh, it's not going to matter. You can take a drink. You just don't have to drive. Somebody said that to you, haven't they? Or something similar. Mm-hmm. Because the people who know you have a problem. And if they know you have a problem and they care about you, they should be the ones telling you, you need to do what I said. They should be driving you to the meetings. They should be driving you to your treatment. If they care about you, if they truly care about you getting clear of your and being in recovery and being able to be a parent to your child, they would be helping you get to treatment. Think about all those people who are not helping you at this point in your life. Think about all those people you think of as close family members and friends. And when you need them the most, which is right now, they're not the ones driving you to your treatment. They're not the ones saying, hey, have you gone to AA today? Or have you called and found a meeting? Have you gone to a meeting? Hey, we're not going to drink around you because we know that's a trigger for you. All right. What's the recommendation, Ms. Chang?
Your Honor, probation recommends that she receive credit for the 13 days she's been in since October the 9th, return to probation, test at each report, and start substance abuse treatment by November 15th.
Mr. Taylor?
Your Honor, I don't know Ms. Perez very well. However, with speaking with her regarding this probation violation, I do know that transportation has been a concern with her not accommodating, but participating in the various things that she's required to do for probation. I've informed her.
And yet she managed to get alcohol.
That's probably.
Ms. Perez, where do you live? Like, what area do you live in?
In Forest Park.
Okay. So you can't walk to where you need to be? You can't find an AA or NA meeting near where you need to be? Clayton County has buses now, so there's buses running through Forest Park. So you could get on a bus to get to where you need to be. The bus will take you to the train. Even if your ASAM class was all the way in Decatur, there's a train that goes right to downtown Decatur, and buses pick up from there. So there's no lack of transportation, ma'am. There's lack of will to do it. Ms. Perez, I am telling you right now, that if you keep going along the way you're going with this attitude that you're not gonna engage, you're not gonna take care of yourself, then you'll be dead in a year. Alcohol kills. You either die in an accident, you die because something happens to you, because you make yourself vulnerable, or you die because you blow out your liver. Alcohol kills. There's people on hard drugs, been doing hard drugs for all of their lives. But you know what takes them out? Alcohol.
Your Honor,
You got to make a decision that you want to be here for your son. I know that you have suffered, but you can't let that defeat you. You're giving up. You are giving up. And you don't have that luxury. You got a child. And it scares me to put you back out here because you're giving me excuses, but you're not doing anything. Had you done any of the things I asked you, any of the things, even the easy things, I'd say, okay, at least she's trying. I know the alcohol. I expected you to test positive because you're an alcoholic. You can't help yourself. But some of the other stuff, I said, let me see if she's willing to put in the work to do some of these other things. You're young. I get up every morning and walk, and I'm not young. My knees are killing me. But you're young. Forest Park ain't that big. I know there are AA meetings in Forest Park. You can walk to. You probably haven't even located any. You have? So what's keeping you from going consistently? Twice a week.
My transportation.
No. Don't say transportation, because where there's a will, there's a way. Had a guy who was on probation. His car got stolen. He lost his job. He didn't have a car. He finally got his car back. It was disabled. He was sleeping in his car. And you know what he did? He walked from Stockbridge to Jonesboro and got here for court on time. On time. He was here before a lot of other people. He walked. And when he told me that, you know what I did? I said, you put in the work, so let me see what I can do for you. You put in the work to be here. Let me give you a month off of probation requirements. I'm going to give you a month. And you come back to me in a month and let's see what happens. And in a month, he had moved back in with his mother. He had gotten another job and his car was being repaired because he could now afford to get it repaired. All that he did when he started walking. He walked from Stockbridge to Jonesboro. And so when you tell me that you have transportation issues, I walk every morning. I'm gonna tell you right now. I know a lady right now who's been walking since before the pandemic. She walks every morning. So when you are, and you younger than both of us, when you tell me that you got transportation issues because you're unwilling to walk a couple of miles, that tells me you're not willing to fix it. You're lazy and you're not willing to do it. And you would rather sit there and tell me, I don't have transportation, than tell me, I am doing everything I can, Judge, to make sure that I'm the best mother for my child. Who has your son right now?
My mother.
Let me just tell you something. And I hope this is broadcasting to everybody who needs to hear it. But as grandparents, we don't want your children. We don't. We love them. We want them to stay out of the system. But after we raise y'all, we don't want your children. How old is your child?
11.
I got an 11-year-old. That's homework. That's activities. That's questions, 1,000 questions a day. We don't want your children. We don't. And he knows exactly what's going on. So you want your 11-year-old, and the 11-year-olds, I swear, are the smartest creatures on the planet. So you want your 11-year-old to see you not try.
No, ma'am.
That's what you're doing. Your mother does not want to raise your child. That was not her choice. I'm sure if she wanted an 11-year-old, she could have one. Because if she my age, she have one. I have one. And I'm old. So what I'm telling you is it was possible if she wanted another child. Obviously, she did not. But you gave her one that she didn't ask for. And now because you're not willing to try and work and do what you need to do, she now has an 11-year-old. She got to go to school events and she's got to do homework and all of that stuff that you should be doing. Ms. Perez, let me just tell you, I knew this was coming. I knew it would be alcohol, but I thought maybe you would try with some of the other stuff. But let me just tell you, I expect to see you again. This is your first probation revocation hearing after being sentenced. So I expect to see you again. But I'm telling you, if I see a lack of progress again, I got 30 months that I can give you. Whatever is left is going to be on the table for you to stay in jail. We clear? Because I can keep you safe and clean in the jail. Well, not so much safe because the Clayton County Jail ain't what it used to be. It's scary in there now. But I can at least keep you away from alcohol. So you make the decision whether we need to have this talk again. We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And please don't think about running because we will find you. We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what's the recommendation? Return to probation, credit for time
Yes,
served, test at each report, and start the substance abuse treatment by November 15th.
yes, Your Honor.
That's too long. She's got to do it by, what's today, the 22nd? By November 1st, you need to be in treatment. In fact,
Yes,
you need to sign up by October 30th. You need to sign up for treatment. We're clear? And I'm only giving you that amount of time because you may need to get your money up. But yeah, you need to really sign up for treatment at that point. Okay? Because, ma'am, you are wasting time. You are wasting time. And the time you waste not doing what I asked you to do is time. I'll just take the remainder of the time and just put you in jail if you're not going to do it. You can just stay in jail. Because at least I know the community will be safe. I know that you'll be safe, essentially. We're clear?
Yeah.
Now, Ms. Perez, talk to me and tell me what is going on that you cannot get it together.
Well, recently I was going through an eviction where I was living at, and I actually just moved where I was living at, so I have a new location to give to Miss Chang. And I lost my job, and it's been very hard on me these past few days, but I was actually just getting a new job, so
What's your new job?
remodeling, house remodeling.
Okay. You do sheetrock and all of that?
Yes, and painting, and I've been doing house cleaning also, so hopefully when I get out, I can still go back to that job and get my stuff.
Okay. And you work with somebody who can kind of help you find jobs and make sure you get to the jobs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, I hate technology. Everything I just did just went away.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Still got that different- just whittle it down. That you're not working. Show up at that service. Hey. Find a bus schedule that take you from Clarksburg to outside. There's a MARTA bus route. I don't know if you'll have to switch buses, but there's probably one that runs direct. 54. You come to. So you don't miss it.
Ms. Perez, this is up to you, okay? I'm gonna make the effort to hope that you'll get it together. But it's up to you essentially whether you're gonna end up getting your life together and making your son proud and making sure that you can be a mom to him like you're supposed to, or you're gonna give up. And I don't want to see you give up for his sake. You hear me?
No.
You're too young to let this take you down. You gotta fight. And like I said, I am clear that there's a reason for this. I'm clear. I'm not discounting any of that. But you got to be bigger than what challenges you. You got to fight back. Okay? All right. All right. So, Miss Chang, do you have a report date for her?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Perez, if you'll report this Thursday, October 24th at 10:30 a.m.
And Miss Perez, when you get out of jail, the first thing you should be looking for is a meeting. You hear me? Okay. All right.
Report October 24th.
Who else do we have?
I have an announcement for Remy Jones. Your Honor, I have an announcement for Mr. Remy Jones.
Okay.
He would request a evidentiary hearing. The petition alleges new violation of the law. He's currently held without bond for that particular charge pending a preliminary hearing, my understanding. And he's not going to stipulate to that offense. So we would request a full-blown evidentiary hearing on that. He's likely not going anywhere since he has no bond and held on the BOP as well. But
okay. How much time do we need?
I would say maybe 2 weeks. Well, if that was for Ms. Chang, I'm sure she has may have input on that as well.
Well, the solicitor's office would be the one to subpoena witnesses on the case, Your Honor. So,
Ms. Hackler?
Your Honor, 2 weeks is fine.
Okay. Let's set Mr. Jones for 2 weeks. For evidentiary hearing on his probation revocation.
That'd be November the 5th, Your Honor, Tuesday.
I would point out, I believe that's the date of his preliminary hearing for the charge alleged.
Meaning he'll be in prelims, or what are you saying?
He'll be in prelims that day.
Okay, then the Tuesday following,
That should be fine.
the 12th? Is that a 12? Ms. Val? Ms. Val, if you can just make sure that Mr. Jones gets set on a hearing after November 5th for the probation violation. My understanding is he's gonna be in for a while. So also you may want to remind Mr. Jones that if he's gonna have an evidentiary hearing, telephone calls from the jail are recorded.
Yes.
Don't know which witnesses will be called, but I know I've seen and heard some things.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll remind him.
All right. Thank you. You can send it back down. Okay. So who else do we have? We have that as is taken care of.
Your Honor, I believe that takes care of everybody on the jail probation calendar.
Okay. All right. So we'll be back in court for the continuation of the trial at 12:30. I have the jurors coming back in, so they should be back in at that time. So we will see you for the continuation of this trial. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Judge. Thank you.